Hey there, Randy again, and welcome to episode 5 in our series about document automation. As I noted before, the purpose of this series of short videos is to help you understand the concept of document automation, or DA, essentially the process of transferring the traditional administrative tasks of figuring out what a document is and capturing some business information off of it from the human and into the machine. So far, I've covered classifying a document, figuring out what kind of document that it is, recognizing the content in that document, and converting that content into semi-structured data. In this episode, I'll dive a bit deeper into the techniques that systems use to make those bits of data truly useful. You may remember from episode 4 that the first step in extraction is to create a massive structure holding the content in the document along with a bunch of metadata. By the way, metadata is nothing more than data about the data. In this case, the metadata are things like extraction confidence, position of an element on the page, recognized font sizes, and so on. The system must now locate the data elements that a downstream application wants and needs based on the type of document the classifier identified. It does that in a variety of ways. The simplest method is just location on the page. The customer number on Form X always appears in the upper left corner. Extraction uses the location specified during setup and extracts whatever happens to appear in the upper left corner. A fudge factor for the exact position of the value usually accounts for minor shifts caused by scanning irregularities or other document differences. While this technique is simple, it's also difficult to tune and is not as dependable as some of the other techniques. Given those challenges, most applications seldom rely on it. Another technique is text-based. Say our form has the words customer number or some variant of those words, cust pound sign, cust num, and so on, above, to the left, or below the value we need extracted. The system first detects the locating word, then, depending on the configuration, selects the next word north, south, east, or west of that anchor value. In this case, the customer number, even though it may be numeric, is also a word to the extraction system since it is simply a series of characters delimited by white space. This technique resolves many of the issues with fixed locations, as the desired field value could appear virtually anywhere on the page or anywhere in the document for that matter, and still extract. Dictionary and thesaurus mechanisms help resolve different versions of labels, customer number in this case. Another locating technique uses the expected form of the extraction target. A good example is an address, at least in the US here. The Postal Service has strong rules for what an address block must hold and in what order. Extraction uses those rules to understand that a grouping of words is, in fact, an address and should extract, even if it violates the rules a little bit. Another useful technique involves locating data elements that match some sort of pattern. Good examples are credit card numbers, phone numbers, and US federal tax IDs. A challenge, though, is understanding which value is the desired target when several are found on the current page or elsewhere in the document. Tables, like what appears on an invoice or statement, are a special extraction case. The table column labels name the fields, and one or more rows of data represent an instance of those fields. Most systems do a reasonable job detecting and extracting tables, as long as their layout is not overly complex. The core of extraction is locating. Without that, any data the machine initially extracted isn't particularly useful, at least in most business applications. Next time, we'll start exploring the idea of validation. making sure that what you extracted makes sense and is accurate. Thanks for watching.